Hello, and welcome back to another episode of De-Stress with Dr. E. This is the last episode for the year 2023, and I thank you so much for joining me on this journey that started on the 1st of December this year. And look at how far we've gone on the sixth episode already. Wow, that's really amazing. So, I thought of something different this time around, and that is to summarize the year 2023 so that we just continue from where we stopped. So that it will not be like we're starting our lives afresh, like trying to figure out things from the beginning. So in my yearly review, when I was reviewing the year 2023, I had to compile all the things that has helped me from January this year to December this year. And these life lessons, I've compressed them to 23 life lessons that has been helpful to me in this. And I believe that it's going to be helpful to someone that's listening to me, especially as you're planning and preparing for the new year to smash those goals, to be on top of your game with regards to managing your stress, wellness, managing your life in general, and thriving in everything you're doing. Okay. So let's quickly get started. Now, the first one is you won't achieve your goals without discipline. I believe this one is very obvious. So you can't expect yourself to be sleeping so much and then achieve every goal that you've set out. I know that sleep is essential for your productivity, but oversleeping is not allowed. And you have to be disciplined with your social media use. You don't need to spend all this time on social media. Just limit the time you're spending so that you can invest time properly into other things that really matter. Okay. Number two is mind the business that pays you. Sometime this year, I hosted a webinar called Laser Focused Life. Laser Focused Life is, hey, this is my journey. This is my path. I don't care what's going on around me. I'm going to stay focused on this till I achieve my goals. So hop onto the laser focused life. Number three, don't dwell so much on negative circumstances. Seek opportunities in that trouble. Hey, this year really showed many people pepper. And when I asked questions on my email list about how the year has been so far, a lot of people said that they've been so stressed this year. And 2024, we are not even sure of what's going to happen next year. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? Now, what you're going to be carrying with you is remember not to dwell so much on that negative circumstance. If not, you're going to set yourself up for depression and even suicide. So this is what you can do when those negative emotions start coming, or when those negative situation happens, like a rejection email or anything like that. It's okay to cry about them. It's okay to worry about them, but don't dwell on them so much. Start thinking about the next step, the next way out, the opportunity in that situation. What am I learning from here so that you can move on with your life? All right. So that you don't get into that cycle of worrying and then leading to depression and then leading to questioning why you're even existing. Okay. Now, number four is be clear on why you do what you do and what's at stake if you don't. I know that the common thing out there is, what's my why? Why am I doing this? But then you can go the extra mile to also be clear on what happens or what will likely happen if you don't follow up on that goal. What's at stake? Is it the people you're going to serve? Is it the money you're going to lose out on? Is it the awesome relationship you would miss building? As in, be very, very clear on what's at stake, because these are the things that will give you the right amount of energy to do the things you've set out to do, to achieve those goals you've set out to do. Okay. And also the right amount of energy to show up consistently. All right. Now, the fifth one is the goal is to be slow to anger. Don't make rash decisions or negative confessions when angry. This one is very clear. I know that there are so many anger management courses out there, but how about training yourself to be slow to getting to that point where you start needing anger management? So it works. Try it. It's something new, it's something refreshing. Be very, very slow to anger. Okay. Now, the sixth one is life is not measured by how much you own. It's okay to be ambitious, but beware of greed. If you look out, for instance, LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, you're always reading news about, oh, I'm thankful, I'm happy I've achieved this, I'm happy that I've achieved that. While all these are awesome, also remember horizontal connections, horizontal achievements. So I divided life achievements or impacts into two: the vertical, the one that goes up like this, the horizontal, the one that goes sideways. So the vertical is you climbing all the ladders, achieving all the goals, ticking all the boxes and getting all the congratulations and all of that. Then horizontal is the impact you're making with people around you, impact you're making in lives. What's that positive impact you're actually making? Life is also measured by this and not just the things you're getting. So while you're ambitious, be wary of greed. And greed comes when where you just want to get things done at the expense of anything. It doesn't care if you're hurting other people. You don't care if you're hurting other people. You don't care if you're trampling down on other people or oppressing other people. So beware of greed. Now, number seven is I'm yet to find one thing achieved or added to my life each time I worry. I know that this one is obvious, but then think about it. The last time you worried about something, somehow, it got sorted. Like, what did you do? What did you do special? Was it a miracle or was it something you did for yourself? Now, when you start worrying again, ask yourself, how will worrying change this situation? Have been through worse situations in the past, and somehow they got sorted. So why do I think that this one is going to be different? Why do I think that this one won't be sorted as well? So why should I spend the time worrying so much about it rather than getting to work and seeking solutions and start talking to people, praying, doing the right things that will help you get off that situation? So worrying doesn't add anything to my life, and I know that it doesn't add anything to your own life. All right. Now, the eighth one is what's something good in your life that brings you peace and joy? Invest heavily into it. Life is short. Life is short to spend it being sad, being worried, being angry. So, are there things that bring you joy? For myself, I'm going to be honest with you. My time in the presence of God brings me so much joy and happiness. So I invest heavily in it and it helps me thrive in every other sphere of my life. So I don't have to worry about so many things at the same time. So, what is that thing that brings you joy and peace in your life? Invest heavily into them. Number nine is give God glory for all things. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. It's a lesson for me. I learned it the hard way where I took credit for everything that happened in my life, but I got a oh like it. I got a warning. Don't do that again. Give God every glory, every glory. If you are someone that believes in God, now this is for you. Okay? Don't take all the credits. Now, number 10 is don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start. Someone's life is on the line. So before you procrastinate that dream, that idea, remember the impact it's going to have on someone's life. Remember the impact it's even going to have on your own life, whether it's money, or more influence or anything wonderful out there. So think about how you're going to deny someone of something that they should have just because you're procrastinating. And you know that needs are actually time sensitive. Probably somebody needed it at that particular time. And then you chose not to show up because things have not perfected or you just don't feel like it. Hey, don't do that. So in this coming year, 2024, get up and get to work. Lives are at stake. You're holding on to something that belongs to someone. Okay. Number 11 says, don't look down on anyone. I'm not going to dwell so much on this one. It's very clear. Don't look down on anyone, no matter who. Number 12, some people have longer waiting and refining time than others. It's for a reason. This is something I've learned over the years. Come on. You see some people that are waiting for something for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Who? And then somebody else is waiting for something just for 6 months and they're getting it. When you look at people like that, you realize that it wasn't actually a waiting time. It was actually a refining season. And when they come out of it, you'll be like, who are you? So don't compare yourself to anyone. There are certain projects that need more preparation. Like if they launch you prematurely, it won't be as impactful as you should have been, you know? So don't just compare your waiting season to another person's waiting season. Number 13 is protect your heart from envy and jealousy. It eats you deep. Celebrate people genuinely. And if somebody is doing something that you love, it's either you celebrate them and move on and focus on your craft, or you get inspired by them. But don't let jealousy or envy rule your heart. It just eats you up for nothing. And you know what? Those people that you're envying will not go down, no matter how you wish for them to go down in your heart. They will not go down. So, sorry to bust your bubbles. Now, number 14 is show up consistently because you're holding on to something that belongs to someone. I think I've mentioned this one. Well, let's call it number 14. Number 15 is when you're overwhelmed, ask for help. This is a special shout out to strong people. I know that you want to figure out your life yourself. I know you want to fix everything yourself. You just don't want to bother people because other people come to you for help and you don't want them to see you as weakling, as somebody that is also asking for help. See, guys, there is no heroism in trying to fix your life yourself. When you're overwhelmed, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out to somebody and say, please help me. It's for your own good and for the generation you're serving because the truth is, we all need you whole. We all need you sane, both physically and mentally. But if you're always showing up overwhelmed, you won't last. You won't last. Burnout is knocking on the door, and every other thing associated with stress is knocking on the door. Number 16, there is no heroism killing yourself for that job. I know you love your job. Okay. I know you're gunning for promotions. I know you're gunning to impress your boss to do the right things by the book so that you will be retained in that workplace. Remember, guys, once anything happens to you, you'll be replaced the next minute because the job has to go on. So there is no heroism in killing yourself. Take your breaks, take your rests. Okay. Number 17, be quick to recognize the warning signs of stress your body is giving you. If you've been listening to my podcasts, almost all of them have this particular one. Listen to your body, guys. In 2024, don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the signs and put it down to, oh, it's nothing. Go and get checked so that we will tell you, okay, it's actually nothing than leaving things to the dying minute and it gets worse and now you're battling for your lives. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Okay. Number 18, get adequate rests. Take your breaks. Schedule your rest. The same way you're planning your life, you're planning how much money you're going to make, the same way schedule your rest. Okay, there is time for everything. Number 19, I love this one. Multitasking is a silent culprit that stresses you out quickly, especially when your results don't match the effort you put in. Can you relate? Because I can relate. For instance, if I'm creating content, if I'm writing down content for the podcast, at the same time, I'm attending to two little children that are hungry or that just need my attention. At the same time, I'm replying to emails. At the same time, I'm checking my social media. If I was meant to create content for 1 hour, I'll realize that I've spent 3 hours trying to create the same content. And by the time I'm done, I'm feeling exhausted and I'm wondering, what did I do? Like, what exactly did I do? It would be like I spent the 3 hours doing so many things or even going to farm. But the results doesn't match the effort. Okay, so multitasking is a silent culprit that stresses you out very quickly. Now, number 20 is what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, who or what you spend time with, both actively and passively influence how you behave, how you think, and how you respond to situations. Guard your hearts jealously. I know that is a harmless social media post. I know that you didn't plan to spend time to read that post on social media, but I'll tell you something. It's influencing you. Whether I like it or not, passively, it's influencing you. Number 21, it always gets better. Don't give up. I remember that this is the mantra I was always telling my husband when we came to the UK newly. Guys, it was tough. It was at that period. But one thing I kept telling us was it always gets better. It always gets better. Don't spend your time whining, complaining. Just focus on what you're doing. So long as you're on the right path, so long as you know you're doing the right things, just keep doing it. It will always get better. Take this from me. It always works. Okay. And number 22, when you place people where they truly belong in your life, helps you regulate your expectations of them and also preserve relationships even better. This is for those that call everybody bestie. I'm your bestie. Hey, that's my bestie. You get to work, your work colleague, all of a sudden, you're now calling your work colleague your bestie. And then you invite them for an event and they don't show up. You start getting angry and frustrated that they don't love you. Guy or babe, how do you expect somebody that barely know you to show up for things like that just because you invited them? Place people where they actually belong in your life so that your expectations will not be cut short. Eh? Don't go and be calling somebody bestie bestie whereas they are just your work colleague. So place them where they truly belong because it will help preserve the relationship. Nobody's ego is bruised. Nobody's feeling bad about how the relationship turned out. And everybody's happy. Is that difficult? Of course not. And then number 23, invest in your walk with God. It enhances your wellness journey. See, everyone now is talking about spiritual wellness. I'm not talking about Africa. I know that this podcast is for Africans, but I'm not even talking about Africans. People are talking about spiritual wellness. People. So, what are you connecting to? For me, I'm connecting to God. So, invest in your walk with God. Okay? It will really, really enhance your wellness journey in this year 2024. Don't say I didn't tell you. Mm. Now, I'm going to give you two more bonus tips, and that is, let's call it number 24. Yes. Men also cry. Be empathetic with them. Men also cry. I've noticed something. When men cry or when men talk about what's going on in their lives, we are usually quick to dismiss them because we don't expect them to feel low. We don't expect them to be moody. We don't expect them to be sad because it's like a women's thing. No, that era is gone. Okay. Men also cry. So show them that empathy, help them, support them wherever possible. Okay. And then the final one I'm going to leave you with is you can only see as far as you know, as far as you've experienced, as far as you've dreamed, and to a bigger extent, the people around you. Now, if the people around you are those that tell you things like when you share a big idea with them and they're like, I don't think that idea will work. Oh. When you're around people like that, do you think you go further than them? Lie, lie, lie. But if you're around people that have done things that you never imagined, there is this inspiration you get from them, this motivation, this ginger that you can break a wall with your hands. So 2024, make 2024 your year of impossibilities where you believe that you can do every single thing you set your heart to. If anyone told me that by the end of 2023, I'll be driving a manual car on expert level, I'm not kidding. I wouldn't have believed it. But one thing my brother told me is, Ezine, do not limit yourself. And when he told me that, I took on the challenge to learn how to drive manual cars this year, 2023. And here I am driving it excellently well. In fact, at a point I was frustrated, but I'm so glad that happened. So, guys, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. That you've dreamed it means you can achieve it. Okay. So, welcome to your 2024, the year of achieving the impossibles. And let me add another one. It's also your money year. Okay. So, here is to your health and wellness and your best year yet. Cheers and congratulations as we move into 2024. Thank you for joining today's podcast, and I would really appreciate your review, your feedback, and if you have any suggestion on the topics you will want to hear from me or the guests you want me to invite, even if it's you, please reach me out via email in the description box. And if you're happy to support this podcast financially as well, there is a support link on how you want to support so that I'll continue to create awesome content for you in the year 2024. So here is to a wholesome year where you're thriving, where you're doing your work, and also where you are performing optimally without burnout and making all the money. Congratulations.